And welcome back to the show, Tough Times, and I hope you're having a lovely night. And if you are going through some tough times, just have a bit of fun this weekend. If you're single, a lot of people ring me up all the time and they say, oh, Michael, we're lonely, we're single, we're at home by ourselves. Go out there and meet some people this weekend. You know, you've got to market yourself and let people know that you're single. Barry was saying in the break that he said, it's good to be honest, you know, it's good to be honest and authentic, it's good for you. And that's so true, isn't it? I mean, even the legal profession. I've worked in the crazy legal profession for the last 25 years. The first 10 years as a police officer, and then the last sort of 15 or so as a defence lawyer. But you know, there's that element of fakeness, and you know, all the legal terms. Wouldn't it be nice if we could all be straight down the line and honest and authentic? Because I really think whatever we do say or think has a corresponding impact on the universe, isn't it? You're so straight down the line, Mary. I like that. We're on the same energy wave.
Yeah, I feel like
you know, sometimes you meet people and you get on really well, like that bloke over here, Henry Nissen. I get on really well with him. And other times you speak to people and it just doesn't click.
You're a million miles away, aren't you?
Yeah.
But it can be instantaneous. You can know someone really well instantly, and it was like that in the hospital. I made friends instantly with people, fellow depressives. And I had a rapport with them.
Mate, you are a living legend, you really are. I mean, just to sit down, and I've written 2 books, and I know how tough it was. And when people said, are you going to write a 3rd one? I said, no way. You know, I haven't got time. I didn't spend any time with my family. I got up at 3:30 in the morning when I had a hunch, you know, something. I wrote a book called A Life in Crime, and a little success book, but I'd wake up all the time at 2 o'clock in the morning, at 4 a.m. in the morning, and you start typing, more coffee, maybe a Red Bull, but it's hard work, and then trying to find a publisher, and, you know, I'm glad I've done it. But 26 books, that's amazing.
Well, the most popular one of them is a book of tribute to my grandmother.
Beautiful.
Her name was Gert. Gert Dickens lived to be 100.
Yes.
One day off 100. She had one more day to go.
Isn't that amazing?
And I wrote a book for Penguin Books called My Grandmother.
Yeah.
And one of the great things she said to me when I was a little boy and used to live down there in West Preston, at her home, she said, always remember that no one's worth more than you are.
Oh.
They might be better looking than you are.
Yeah.
And in your case, that's obvious.
But there's always somebody better looking, somebody richer, somebody who's got a nicer car, but that doesn't matter, does it? We should be, rather than living on a competitive plane, I think it's really important to live on a creative plane and create your own life and do what you can with what you've got where you are. I suppose we're all given a deck of cards, aren't we?
That's
and
right.
We just have to make the most of what we've got.
When my grandmother was 99, she was clinically blind and had glaucoma, and she used to get all the gas jets going on the stove and sit back and throw matches at them to see which one would go off. And she'd say, one of them's got a light, one of them's got to go off. Throw them even in the oven, whoomph, like that.
Now, Barry, tell me this, you're back into teaching, you're teaching poetry.
Poetry at Genazzano Catholic Girls' School to Year 6s.
Fantastic, mate.
I said to one girl one day, what would kill a fairy? Because we're doing fairy poetry. She said, that's a decent question, Mr. Dickens. What would kill a fairy? Let me think. A frown. A frown would do it. That'd kill a fairy. And when you think about it, it's a profound answer that you can be so sensitive that a frown knocks you out of the ring, you know, just one frown.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful answer.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's
a frown.
People do respond to certain things, and one minute they're happy, one minute they're down. But I suppose if we have that inner peace.
To see the girls writing so joyfully and so industriously, and then we get up when they've finished their poems and they read them in the chapel.
Beautiful.
The principal wants them read in the school chapel.
Beautiful.
So it's not the lesson that's being read, it's their poems. So they're that sincere. And the poems are full of joy and full of tiny agonies.
That school's very lucky to have a great man like you on working for them. What else did I want to ask you? I wanted to ask you briefly about some of the viewers out there who are going through some tough times, maybe because they've split up, because they're having mental health issues, they're hitting the grog, they might be hitting the cocaine or the drugs, or feeling very lonely. Loneliness is a very sad thing too, isn't it? I've had periods of my life when I've been living away in another state or another country where I was very lonely and by myself, and it's a terrible feeling, isn't it? We really have to go out there and reach out and greet each other and find out about each other.
Well, one thing that's always pulled me out of it, you see someone in such a terrible condition in the street, someone in a parlous state, someone with smashed up feet that can't get into a tram, someone, and you think, well, you know, how do they do that? How do they keep going? So you always see someone much worse off than you are.
I know. I had that at Melbourne Magistrates Court only recently. I was whinging about some court case or some outcome or something a judge said to me, and all of a sudden I see 7 little boys on these little skateboards, no arms, no legs, God bless them, all laughing, smiling, crossing the road near Lonsdale Street and William Street. And I thought, what am I?
How do they do it?
Why aren't I smiling? You know, we worry about silly things. We turn silly things into mental monsters when we should just enjoy every day and make the most of it and go through the tough times.
I believe in Buddhism and the power of being internal, but I also believe that one of the great powers is to look. And, you know, Brett Whiteley, the great painter, once said, "I paint in order to see."
Yes.
That's the reason he painted, was to see, and the world is a delight, you know.
Yes.
And you look out. You've got to look out. It's a wake-up call. You can't always dive ever downward to find the truth, though that is one truth.
Certainly.
But the greatest truth is others, and we're here to love others.
We're here to love others, folks. Yes, I totally agree. Life is like a river. Here's birth and then there's death. And remember one thing, you come here by yourself and you're going to die by yourself. So you've got to be your best mate. Remember that. And we're here to love and be loved.
Oh, I love being loved.
And I love you too for coming on the show and being such a wonderful man and helping all those young students. And are you going to write more books?
I hope so. I'm working on one now with a woman called Jenny Lee. We're doing a fairy novel now.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, that's right, for adults.
And I was just saying to the viewers, if they're single, they should go out and date and find somebody special. Are we dating?
We are soon to date. We're going to get dressed up. We're going to lose weight. And we'll date again.
No, just be yourself. I'm sure that there'll be plenty of... in fact, if you want to date this great man, give us a call or email me and we'll organise a hot date for you. But
will you?
I mean, go out and meet some beautiful
I don't think it matters that you don't look like Robert Redford, although he doesn't look that great these days. The people are after what's inside you. And,
of course.
You know, when I teach children, they don't care. They say, hey, the guy with the big nose is cool. You know, he's cool, that guy.
It doesn't matter what we look like, as long as we're straight down the line and we do the right thing by others, I suppose.
Children read you in a second.
Yeah, well,
in a millionth of a second. They know if you're straight or not.
Yeah.
In a second.
Yeah. And what was your advice to the people who were thinking of ending it all and who might want a suicide on this very night?
I think that if you keep a diary or if you write a poem, there'll be people very keen to read your interpretation of your feelings. I think that a diary is the best.
A diary is the best, but can we get through the tough times?
I think you just have to. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I think that life is a torture, and also it's so delightful.
Barry Dickens, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Wonderful to see you.
Life's a torture, which is so true, but then again, it's so delightful. Some beautiful words there, Barry Dickens, and I thank you very much for watching on this Wednesday night. Love and best wishes, and remember, tough times never last, but tough people too do, and you're a very tough person. God bless, and I'll see you next Wednesday night. All the very best. Good night.